Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, TheLaval, also known as the Power To-Do List, back for you with another deck profile. And just like the last days the weather has been, this deck profile is getting hot. I am talking about Laval's itself. After way too much time, I have finally decided to pick this deck up. I've just waited for the last cards from Lightning Overdrive to come out and get those in the mail. And now I'll be bringing you guys my Laval deck profile. And yeah, I am very excited to finally not only have this deck, but also be able to share this with you guys. And yeah, just like with Morphtronics, we start off with probably the most important card of the deck. We start off with Laval Volcano Handmaiden. She is a level 1 Pyro Tuner. That if she is sent to the graveyard while you have another Laval in grave, you can send another Laval monster from your deck to your grave. Your main play with this being Molten Conduction Field, send a Laval and her. She will trigger, sending another copy of herself and another copy of herself to the grave, and then milling another Laval, which sets up your Rekindling plays very, very nicely. So yeah, definitely probably one of the best cards in the deck that you want to max out on. Next up, we have a playset of Laval Lakeside Lady. She's really cool because when she's in grave and you have 3 or more Laval monsters in your grave with different names, you can banish her and another Laval to pop a face down card your opponent controls, which is a really nice back row removal or just, set monster removal effects, to be fair. Also, a level 3 tuner, which gets really important with one of the newer cards from Ghost from the Past. You want to make Laval Salamander as much as possible, since that enables you to dig through your deck to reach those Rekindlings. So yeah, she is definitely really cool. Then we have one of the new cards from Ghost from the Past, Laval Archer. On normal summon, this guy gives you an additional normal summon. And also, if he is in your grave, you can target a fire monster you control, destroy that target to special summon himself. But he locks you into fires for the turn. He's definitely really cool. Gives you another normal summon, which you can use for either your Laval cannon or a tuner to go into a Synchro, which is definitely really, really cool. So yeah, we play 3 Archer. Also 200 defense, very, very important for those Rekindlings. Then we play 3 of a very old card, but a very cool card still, Laval Cannon. When he is normal or flip summoned, you can target one of your banished Lavals and special summon that target, which has some great synergy not only with Lakeside Lady's Graveyard effect, but also with Spirit of the Flames that you play, or with the new Laval card from Lightning Overdrive, the Birth of the Prominence Flame. So yeah, you play 3 of that guy and also a Rotor to go with it, because he is a really good card to have in the deck. Then I play 2 Laval Forest Sprite. This guy's a neat level 2 tuner. When he is sent from the field to the graveyard, he gives every Laval monster you control 200 attack for each Laval monster in your grave until the end phase. Makes your OTKs that much more powerful and gives your deck that punching power that I really love about it. Probably the reason why this deck gave me my gamer tag of sorts, which is kind of cool to be fair. So yeah. Definitely Forest Sprite being a cool card. Then I play 2 Landslot. Just another target, whoops, to send off your Molten Conduction Field. Another target you can send off your Handmaiden. But also someone you can just, even if he's a level 6, normal summon, put a 2100 body on the board. And then continue to play from there. Maybe revive a Handmaiden, go into a 7. Or just have, that extra board presence, that extra high-level monster. Then another 2-off. These 2-offs are mostly, things you want to pitch or things you might want to draw into. 2 Laval Burner. If you have 3 or more Lavals in grave with different names, you can special summon them from your hand, which is really nice to have. Gives you another easy body to put on the board. He's a level 5, so he definitely makes for some neat Synchro access. 2100, so he's also kind of big, I guess, which is really, really nice. And yeah, with that, we move on to the non-Lavals that I'm playing. I am playing a playset of Spirit of the Flames. Enables very easy board presence, banish a fire from the grave, special summon this guy from your hand, gains 300 during your battle phase only. Easily sets up the banishing for your cannon normal summon. Also makes great use of all the graveyard shenanigans you do with your molten conduction fields, with your lakeside ladies, so you can easily always have the materials to put this guy on the board, which is great. Then we have a playset of Boost Warrior, which you can special summon from the hand if you control a tuner, and that gives every warrior monster on your field 300 extra attack. Really neat card, just a level 1 you can put on the board additionally to help with synchro plays, make a Link Kuriboh, or just, any other Link monster you can imagine. Definitely a cool card in the deck that helps a lot. Also, he has 200 defense, which is a very important aspect for the deck, since you can revive him off Rekindling, which is a really, really, really broken card, to be honest. But yeah, going into the power 1 of spells here, we have a copy of 1-for-1, just a great card when you have things like Handmaiden in the deck, or when you have things like the Boost Warrior. So you definitely have some targets there that you want to summon. Monster Reborn, just, as an added extender, we play 1 Rotor to search Laval Cannon, because Cannon happens to be a warrior. We play the 1 Gold Sarcophagus to set up Cannon plays better, because you can just banish something from deck, normal summon Cannon, and retrieve that monster you just banished. And we play 1 Foolish Burial as an additional Foolish Burial. And this Foolish Burial goes on top of our already existing one in Molten Conduction Field. And before I talk about this card, I just need to highlight how amazing this looks in Secret Rare. I absolutely love it. The colors on this one are amazing. And I am very happy that I went for the secrets instead of the Ultra Reprints. But this is, simply put, just a double Foolish Burial for your archetype. Send 2 Lavals from deck to graveyard. So you activate this, send just any Laval you want from deck to grave, maybe a Lakeside Lady, send a Handmaiden on top. On res, the Handmaiden will trigger sending 2 other Handmaidens from deck to grave, and then sending another Laval. So you definitely have a good amount of setup possibility for the next card we are going to be talking about, which is going to be your Rekindling. Rekindling is a spell card that lets you special summon as many fire monsters from your graveyard with 200 defense, but they get banished during the end phase. Soul Charge is banned, this isn't, so you play it at 3. Amazing card, absolutely insane. Saw a lot of play when Laval was a more relevant deck in the meta. Back at like the beginning of Zexal, end of 5Ds. Because this card really, really does a lot. I mean, we don't need to talk about how powerful a card like Soul Charge is, and this is definitely on a similar power level. Just reviving essentially all monsters in your graveyard, going full combo again, or just making 2 or 3 Synchros more is just absolutely amazing. So you definitely want to max out on this and find ways to get to it. Yeah, and then a 2-off, a last minute inclusion, I guess. I was just going over the deck list and saw that this new card from Lightning Overdrive, Birth of the Prominence Flame, could definitely be something interesting. You target 2 fire monsters in your grave, a tuner and a non-tuner with 200 defense. You banish those and summon a fire synchro monster with a level equal to the banished monster's level from your extra deck. And I think this is this count as a synchro monster? Is this count as a synchro summon? No, you special summon it. But yeah, it's essentially a miracle fusion for this deck. Just banishing 2 monsters to make an additional synchro after resolving a Rekindling or already making a synchro is really nice. Definitely helps you put another synchro on the board, which is what you want to do with this deck. So yeah, I played 2. I don't think 3, I think, would feel too bricky, to be honest. But you could probably also do with 1 or even with none, I feel like. Capping off the main deck here is a playset of Pot of Desires. Helps you dig through your deck. You don't play any really big garnets that you don't want to see. You mostly just play stuff that you either want to mill or that you want to use to get to Rekindling, and this definitely helps you dig for Rekindling. So yeah, I play 3 Desires just as an extra way to dig for that Rekindling. And now getting into the extra deck, starting off with the new boss monster, I'd say, Laval X-Lord. He is a level 8 that requires a tuner and a non-tuner fire. He is 2900, which is already really big. And once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can quick effect, pop that monster, burn your opponent for 1000, which is a really interesting interruption, to be honest, and gives this deck actually a really interesting turn 1 play, I must say. And also, if this guy is destroyed by your opponent's card, you can special summon up to 3 non-synchro fire monsters with 200 defense from your graveyard and defense. So he even floats, which is really neat. And honestly, I must say I really like this card, and I am definitely looking forward to playing with it in the future. I play 2 Laval Salamander, the new boy from Ghost from the Past. On Synchro Summon, he will enable you to draw 2 cards, and if you have a fire monster in hand, you send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, including a fire monster, giving you an additional way to trigger Hand Maiden. Otherwise, reveal your entire hand and shuffle it into the deck. You can only use that effect once per turn, and also you can banish fire monsters from your grave. Change face-up monsters. You can banish a fire monster from the grave and change face-up monsters your opponent controls to face-down defense up to the number of Laval monsters you control. Definitely a really cool synchro. I really like this guy, enabling you to dig for those rekindlings, which is very nice. So yeah, I play 2. I think having the extra one is really neat if you need to dig further on a follow-up turn, just to have it. Then we essentially play the entire tribe. 1 Laval Stanon on Synchro Summon, send a card from hand to graveyard. This is a mandatory effect, just like Laval the Greater, that you definitely need to keep in mind if you have a card you want to keep in hand, so you set that first. But during either player's turn, when he is targeted by a card effect, you can instead banish a Laval monster from the grave, negate the activation. If you do, destroy the targeting card, which is really cool, to be honest. I mean, having a monster that is essentially immune to targeting effect and also negates those is very cool. So I think 1 Stanon is definitely fine. Then I play, already mentioned, 1 Laval the Greater. He, just like Stanon, when you Synchro Summon, you have to send a card from your hand to the graveyard. If you would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish a Laval monster from your graveyard instead, which is a very neat amount of protection, reminiscent of a certain level 7 Synchro machine, which is why I really like this guy. So I do run the 1. Then we play Dragoon, Laval Dragoon, not the other one. Once per turn, you can add a Laval monster from deck to hand, then send a Laval monster from your hand to the graveyard. Really cool effect, to be honest. Very interesting way of adding and searching. Gives this deck a bit more consistency. And another way to pitch Handmaiden, which is really great, to be honest. So yeah, Dragoon is a cool card. You may take this out of context. Then we play 1 Laval Dual Slasher. He is a level 5 2400, and he gains effects depending on the number of Lavals in your graveyard. If you have 2 or more Lavals in grave, if he attacks a defense position monster, he can attack once again in a row. And if you have 3 or more, if he attacks a defense position monster, he inflicts piercing battle damage. Has some great synergy, to be honest, with Laval Salamander, which is really cool. And yeah, Dual Slasher is definitely a cool option if your opponent plays a very defensive deck. Next up, we have Laval Dragon, not to be confused with Laval Dragoon. He's another level 5. He can shuffle 2 Lavals from graveyard back into the deck to target a card on the field and return it to hand. This effect, by the way, is once per turn. So as long as you have 2 Lavals on grave, you can keep returning cards to the hand, which is really cool, to be honest. Gives you a great amount of removal, which is why I definitely think Laval Dragon is a good inclusion. Then moving on to some more generic synchros. We play 1 Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles, not only because he is a level 9, Also because he is generic and also because he is a fire monster with 200 defense. So you can summon Charles of Rekindling again, which is really great. And also Charles gives you a 3k body, which is kinda neat. Then we play one Black Rose Dragon. This deck locks itself into fires from time to time, so Black Rose Dragon is definitely something you can summon. And Black Rose Dragon, I think, even in 2021 is still a great synchro monster to have. You know, nuking the board, getting everything a soft reset definitely is a cool thing, especially when you are playing the deck that just needs one spell card to assemble a whole new board again, which is kinda great. So yeah, then I play just, you know, 2 non-fires. We play one Stardust Assault Warrior, Stardust Charge Warrior for the draw on summon. This guy does less OTKing in a deck that doesn't run United We Stand, but he is still great to get that extra draw in. And then the one Formula Synchron, also, you know, get a draw in. Most of your monsters do not require you to have a fire tuner. Most of them just require a fire non-tuner, which is like why Formula Synchron isn't as big of a deal. So yeah, he is definitely cool to have. And then going into a very slim Link lineup, but you probably are used to this at this point. 1 Power Code Talker. Once per turn, you can tribute a face-up monster on the field, negate that target's effects until the end of the turn. And once per turn, if he battles an opponent's monster during damage calc, you can tribute a monster he points to, and his attack becomes double the attack, double his original attack. Is a Link monster you can make. I think if Decode Talker Heat Soul comes out at some point, that is also something you can definitely include in this. But Power Code Talker at the moment definitely makes for a good option. He can get quite big, he does require 3 monsters, but he is definitely someone that can help you in OTKing your opponent, and this is why I ran him. Then we play 1 Doolittle Chimera. I think, you know, the attribute boosting Link monsters are an easy inclusion in these decks that are not really too offensive, too wrong. Gives every fire monster on the field 500 extra additional attack and defense. Makes all waters lose 400 attack and defense. And if this thing leaves the field by card effect, you can add a fire monster from your graveyard back to your hand, which is definitely great to have. So yeah, I do play this guy. And capping off the extra deck, as always, or in most cases, is 1 copy of Linkuriboh. Take a level 1, make it into a Linkuriboh. If your opponent wants to declare an attack, tribute him, make that monster's attack 0. You can also, while he's in the grave, tribute a level 1 to special summon him again, but the summoning is once per turn. Great Link. You easily are able to, you know, put an additional 1 onto the board with the Boost Warriors or your Handmaidens sometimes if you revive them off Rekindling. And yeah, this should be it for my Laval deck profile. Definitely a really cool OTK style deck, which is something I do enjoy. Rekindling is an insane card that is so much fun to pull off. X-Lord is a really cool new monster, which I am definitely looking forward to playing more with in the future. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I will thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.